Welcome back to CSQ Analytics. This video, I'm going to explain to you ISO 9001-2015 Quality Management System requirements. This figure is explaining the relationship between PDCA and the framework in ISO 9001 Quality Management System. The clauses start from clause 4 and until clause 10. You can see from this figure, clause 4, the organization and its context, is the backbone of the organizations. Means that when we are working in an organization, we must be very understood what is the nature of the business and what is the company products and services about. Besides, clause 5 are supporting the organization processes, which is leadership. We need leader, we need team leader, we need head of department, we need supervisor, we need someone to perform the leadership in leading the team towards this quality management system implementations. And you can see from this figure, clause 6 are explaining planning. Clause 7 and 8, we need the support, we need the operation processes to implement the quality management system. And clause 9 are reflecting the check, which is performance evaluation and analysis. And lastly, the clause 10, improvement, stand for action taken if there are any non-conformity or there are areas which need improvement. Clause 4.1, which is understanding the organization and its context. Clause 4.1 are explaining when we are working in the organization, we need to determine the related external and internal issue which is related to the purpose and our strategic directions, which it will affect its ability to achieve the intended outcome of the quality management system. For example, the internal issues such as how come our equipment always break down. This gives us an issue which delay our operations. Another example of internal issue, our staff turnover is very high. How come there are always changing of the staff which make everything we have to start over and over again and delay the processes again. For external issue, example, issue from the contractor or from your supplier. For the contractor, if they cannot complete the job within the time frame, we have to accountable for the consequences. And if we are discharging the wastewater which is polluted to the environment, this definitely will cause external issue. Let's say compound by the DOE personnel, complaint by the neighbors, complaint by the public. This is all we call issue. That's why when we are working in the organization or in our processes, as a process owner, as the staff, we need to understand what kind of the issues encountered throughout our processes. And therefore, we are going to take some actions to resolve the issues. External issue, which is something like related to the politics, economic, financial, let's say the currency changes, social, cultural, any of the culture issue, social issue, community issue which are affecting the processes. Technology, nowadays, they are advanced technology. Are we using the advanced technology which can help us to improve our efficiencies? And any of the legal, regulatory, environmental and market issue. Internal issues are related to issue encountered from the internal processes, our internal culture, the knowledge, skill and experience lacking for us to execute the processes, the resources issue, human resource equipment issue, and the performance of the organizations. Is the personnel able to achieve the intended outcome, the objective as required by the organization? Clause 4.2, understanding the needs and expectations of interested parties. We need to determine the interested party that relevant to the quality management system. The interested party included internal and external party as well. The internal party such as the process itself, who is the direct personnel involved. Second, besides the direct personnel involved, we are interacting with other personnel from other departments as well. For example, the production personnel are interrelated with the storekeeper. Not just only the production personnel and the storekeeper. When the production personnel, you want to buy something, you need to interact with your purchaser. So, this is the interested party. When you are interacting with your purchaser, definitely you have to follow the purchasing procedure. When you are going to take something from the store, you need to understand the procedure of the storekeeper. You need to follow the procedure of the personnel. You need to understand the needs and expectations when you are interacting with other personnel. Therefore, who is the interested party from internally? Production personnel, HR personnel, account personnel, purchasing personnel, storekeeper, and etc. which related to your processes. For external interested party such as your customer, your contractor, supplier, training provider, calibration personnel, maintenance personnel from externally, your public, your neighbor, regulatory statutory officers such as DOE personnel. Therefore, all these interested party, no matter internal interested party or external interested party, as long they are related to the processes, we need to understand the needs and the expectations throughout the processes in order to implement the process and achieve the intended outcome. Those informations of the needs and expectations, definitely we need to monitor and always review it changes. Things can be always changed. Are we always monitor the latest changes? Are we always communicate and deliver the latest information to the relevant parties? Clause 4.3, determining the scope of the quality management system. When we are working in the company, in our organizations, definitely we need to know what is the nature of the business, what is the scope of our processes, such as you are a manufacturing company, a trading company, a service company, a laboratory company. This is the scope of our business. And what is the boundary and applicability of the quality management system? Example, in the manufacturing company, you are covering your production processes, you are covering your purchasing processes, you are covering your HR processes, and you are also having a warehouse which to store your products. Even though the warehouse is not in the same boundary, in the same facility, in the same address of your current compound, you need to include it in your nature of business, in your scope of quality management system. And when you had understood the scope of your quality management system, definitely you need to aware, you need to understood the external and internal issue related to your scope, the requirements of the relevant interested parties, the activity, your types of product and services, and the requirements of ISO 9001, which is related to your scope of business. All this information we need to maintain as documented information. Everything need to be recorded. The documented information can be black and white in your paper, can be soft copy, can be media, can be photo, can be picture. As long it can be evident, as long it is the information which you are going to refer, you are going to use it for communication purpose. Clause 4.4, Quality Management System and its processes. When we know the scope of our business, definitely we need to establish the related processes in our quality management system. We need to set out our company organization chart. What kind of the resources that we require to implement the management system? These management systems are referring the processes of the organizations. Every processes, we need to determine the inputs required and the output expected from these processes. The input, as explained before, it included the information required to execute the processes and whatever the information required from the interested party and including you on to generate in order to proceed the implementation, and of course the output, which are the result when you are implementing the processes.
Once we had determined the processes needed and their sequence and interactions, of course, we need to think about how to control of these processes. What type of the criteria and the methodology required to ensure the process is controlled and the processes is effectively operated and implemented. Let's say, how are we going to carry out the incoming inspection for the material or the ingredients or the equipments that we order? We just need to carry out the physical inspection, or we need to go further into the functionality examination or some testing required. The same concept apply for the in-progress and also the outgoing inspection. How to perform the inspection? How to carry out the testing? What is your testing criteria? Your testing parameters? What is your inspection criteria? What is your inspection specifications? And also, how are you going to evaluate the performance of your external provider? And how about the methodology that you can use to monitor the customer satisfaction on your services provider and also the achievement of your KPI, the key performance indicator, the objective? Well, to effectively implement the processes, we need to ensure the resources needed is available for the processes. The manpower, the machinery, the equipment, the device, the material, and more which required to execute to support the processes. Every personnel that involved in the processes shall be very clear on their responsibility and authority in order for them to commit to the process and effectively implement the processes. As explained, every personnel of the processes shall aware and address the risk and opportunity arising from its processes. We need to control our processes to reduce or prevent the risk arising from the processes and to enhance the opportunity can be arise from the processes. And the next, evaluate and implement changes to achieve intended result. As explained before, changes always happen. Whenever there are any changes, we must immediately evaluate, implement, and of course communicate to the relevant personnel. And lastly, improvement. Remember our quality management principles. One of it is improvement. Improvement will be always our permanent objective, and whatever the documented information established and generated shall be maintained and written. All mentioned in clause 4.4, I will further explain in clause 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and clause 10. Clause 5.1, leadership and commitment.
As a leader, as a top management, as a head of department, we need to always review our processes whether are we achieve the intended result. We cannot wait until 6 months or 1 year, then only review the result, review the data. Everything will be too late. We need to review regularly. Example, go into your productions, check into the data, Is the data? Is the productivity of today achieve the intended result? You can review it during the monthly regular meeting. How is the sales result for this month? If cannot achieve, what is the action we need to take to improve the sales target? As a leader, we always need to stand by ourselves to direct our people, to give direction to our people, and work together with our people towards our goals. And nevertheless, we are promoting continual improvement. We always review the processes and checking any area require improvement. We always want to improve our efficiency and our productivity. As the top management need to support other relevant management roles to demonstrate their leadership as it applies to their area of responsibility. Empowerment. Empowerment is very important. As a top management need to know how to delegate the responsibility and the task to the relevant management role, and of course give them the required authority for them to execute the authority and make decision.
310, sir, the Miyoko is sinking! Sir, please!
That's the course to 310!
Please, sir! There are sailors in the water, sir!
Hard starboard.
Hard starboard aye, sir.
Get him out of the water. Yes, sir.
Customer is very important, super important. Without customer, we cannot operate our processes. No meaning of the company assistant. Top management need to ensure that the customer and applicable statutory and regulatory requirements are determined, understood, and consistently met. The risk and opportunity that can affect the conformity of products and services and the ability to enhance customer satisfaction are determined and addressed. And lastly, the focus on enhancing customer satisfaction is maintained. We are producing the products or services for our customer. Therefore, we need to always ensure the customer requirement is met. Whatever the customer requirement need to be clearly communicated and documented to the relevant party. This requirement not just only on the product and services requirement, it also included the applicable statutory and regulatory requirement. For example, custom requirement when we are exporting the product to our customer overseas. And also, for example, when we are producing the product, when we are manufacturing the product for our customer, is the capacity of our wastewater treatment plant is able to accommodate the productivity. The risk and opportunity related to the customer focus and satisfaction, such as are we able to deliver the product or services within the time frame required by the customer? If we cannot deliver within the time frame, what is the risk will be arising from this issue? And any else opportunity can be arising from the customer satisfactions. For example, the customer very satisfied with our services of this contract. Therefore, the customer agree to cooperate with us to expand the business or to expand or giving another contract of product. Clause 5.2 Quality Policy. The top management shall establish, implement and maintain a quality policy that is appropriate to the purpose and context of the organization and support its strategic direction. What is the scope of your business? The policy need to provide a framework for setting the quality objective. The policy need to include a commitment to satisfy the applicable requirements and continual improvement of the quality management system. This quality policy need to maintain as documented informations. Once established the quality policy, the policy need to be communicated, understood and applied within the organization. Policy reflect the company vision, mission and direction. Definitely, it need to be communicated, understood by every personnel in the organization so that everyone can be work together towards the same directions. The quality policy can be available to the interested party to gain their confidence to cooperate to work together with your organization, such as customer, such as the statutory and regulatory officer. This is the example of the quality policy. 5.3 is about organizational roles, responsibility and authority. Every personnel work in the organization need to understood their roles, responsibility and authority. Therefore, the top management and the head of department shall ensure the responsibility and authority for the relevant roles are assigned, communicated and understood within the organization. This is to ensure the quality management system conforms to the requirement of this international standard, to ensure the people work together and implement the processes to deliver the intended output. The responsibility include who is the personnel are responsible, accountable to report the performance of the quality management system and opportunity for the improvement. Definitely, this normally will be the responsibility of the head of department. The roles and responsibility included the promotion of customer focus throughout the organizations. And lastly, the responsibility included to ensure the integrity of quality management system is maintained when changes to the quality management system are planned and implemented. This means that when there are any of the changes, we need to communicate the changes to the relevant party so that the relevant party are able to adopt the changes immediately. That's all for this video. See you!